Ion exchange chromatography is one of the technique involved in the separation of some particular samples. So again, it is very clear that each and every chromatographic technique is designed in a such a way that some particular samples are analyzed, very well analyzed by the particular chromatographic technique. So ion exchange, as the word, as the meaning of the ion exchange, that there is an exchange of ions takes place. The basic principle involved behind the ion exchange chromatography is that when the sample is passed through the column, similar charge ions are get separated out with the with the use of different ion exchangers. Basically, cationic exchanger, anionic exchangers. With the help of the cationic as well as the anionic exchangers, which are filled inside the bed, inside the column, and when the sample passes through the column, so similar charge ions are get separated out with the help of the ion exchangers. And by exchange of the ions, again the exchange of ions again depends upon their affinity, depends upon their charge, depends upon their mobility. So based on their surface interactions, based on the surface interactions, these ions are get separated out. And again, the remaining process is same as the liquid chromatography, that is of column chromatography. So as soon as the sample will pass according to the surface charge or ions, the ions get exchanged and the compounds, the mixtures are get separated out. And then again the solute, the analyte passes through the column, and through the elution process, the eluted solvent get detected by the detector system, and the same peaks are appeared on the graph paper. So it is a process by which a mixture of similar charge ions are separated using an ion exchange resins. So here one of the important part is what? Instead of using the common adsorbents, which are routinely used, commonly used in the column chromatography, because adsorbent, the function is what? To absorb the substance on the surface of the adsorbent layer, that is of stationary phase. But here there is use of some resinous material. These are the resinous material. Along the surface, on the surface of the resinous material, some charge ions are present. Resinous material are along with the charge ions. So the column packing technique in ion exchange chromatography, so column is prepared with the help of some ions. With the help of the resins, some ions are attached over the resinous material. So ion exchange occurs according to their relative affinities. Ion exchange occurs according to their relative affinity towards the ions which are present on the resin's substance. So this process is reversible. There is a reversible exchange, or you can say similar charge ions. So mostly similar charge ions, like say the cationic as well as the anions, can be separated out by this technique. So very simple. Based on the resinous substance, the ions are get attracted and get exchanged. Reversible process. So reversible exchange of ions between the ions present in the solution and those present in the ion exchange resins, on the surface of ion exchange resins. So reversible exchange of the ions which are present in the solution of the sample in the mobile phase, and those ions which are present on the ion exchange resins, on the surface of ion exchange resins. Say for examples, so these ion exchange resins, or you may say that the ion exchange process is of two types, the cationic exchanger as well as the anionic exchanger. Here you can see solid cations plus cations which are present in the solution. So similar charge ions are get exchanged. Similar charge ions are get exchanged, but cationic exchangers are negatively charged. Cationic exchangers are negatively charged, held by the positive ions, and competitive mechanism replacement of the ions which are present in the solution, which replaces the positive ions which are present on the cationic exchangers. So cationic exchangers are negatively charged, but the ions present on the surface of cationic exchanger, these are of positively charged. That's why it is known that exchange of similar ions. But affinity depends upon negative, positive, positive to negative charge. That's why the cationic exchangers, resins, these are negatively charged, held with the positively charged ions. That's why it is known as there is a separation of the similar charged ions from the solution to the resinous substance. Anionic exchanger in the same way. These are the positively charged held with some negatively charged ions, which get replaced by the anions which are present in the solution, which are present in the sample. So the anions retained by the solid matrix of an ion exchange resins, these are eluted by using different types of the solvents, different types of the buffers with the varying strength. Again, I will explain what is the role of buffers in the ion exchange resin. Again, ultimately, if you see the mechanism, it is based on the affinity. And affinity, that is, these are the charged particles, positive, negative, and negative part, negative ions, charged ions will move to the positive ones on the resins. So the classification of resins. So in ion exchange chromatography, the most important requirement, the most important substance or compound is nothing but the resins. The resins used in ion exchange, because the mechanism is based, or the mechanism is on the surface of the resinous substances. So different types of the resins are available in market, or even we can say that according to the nature of the substance or the analyte, or you may say according to the type of ions present on the sample. That means what type of the ions we want to replace, what type of the ions are needed to replace. Based on the same, we can design, we can manufacture, we can prepare the resins. That's why number of resinous substances are available, and even these are classified according to their chemical nature. These are classified according to their chemical nature. Say for example, strong cationic exchangers, weak cationic exchangers, strong anionic exchangers, and weak anionic exchangers. So according to the source, say for example, there are some naturally occurring resin substances, there are some synthetic substances. So naturally occurring cationic exchangers material is zeolite or clay, which are useful for the exchange of the cations, where dolomite, these are the anionic exchangers naturally occurring. While in synthetic, there are some organic and inorganic substances also. But mostly or commonly, organic resins are widely used. Organic resins, because naturally occurring resins substances are having some limitations. Only 1, 2, or 4, or 5 naturally occurring resins substances are not useful for the separation of different types of, or many types of the ions from the solution. So synthetic, the organic resins are most widely used, because the preparation of such resins are possible. You can design, you can prepare according to the intended use. So organic ion exchange resins, these are polymeric resins. Polymeric resins matrix containing the exchange sites. These are having the different exchange sites as per the intended use. So these resins composed of polystyrene, divinyl benzene. Polystyrene contains site of exchangeable functional groups. So this is the again organic part. How to prepare the resins? Just by observing the ions present in the substance. So what type of the ions are required to replace the ions present on the sample? So many types of the organic compounds are used. Divinyl benzene, polystyrene, it contains different sites. That means divinyl benzene acts as a cross-linking agent and offers adequate strength, that is the mechanical stability. So this is again very important point. Next for the discussion is that what are the ideal requirements of the resins? How it should be? How to select the resins in ion exchange chromatography? What is the nature of resins? So in short here, I am explaining that it acts just like a cross-linking agents. Just like a cross-linking agents and offers an adequate strength, that is the mechanical stability. Okay, we'll discuss it in next. There is a presence of some functional groups which exchange the resins. So strong cationic exchange resins, weak cationic exchange resins. So these are the groups, these are the functional groups. Just a minute. So different sulfonic group, carboxylic group, hydroxylic group, phosphoryl, amines. So different functional groups are present on the resins, and these functional groups are replaced by the ions which are present on the sample or on the solution. So these are the common ion exchange resins. Say for example, cationic exchangers, sulfonated polystyrene having the pH range 1 to 14, and these are used for the fractionation of cations on inorganic separations, peptides, amino acids, vitamin B, etc., etc. So depending upon the sample, there is a selection of the resins, because it is necessary to see what type of the ions are present on the surface of the resins and what type of the ions are get exchanged. So based on this affinity, these interactions, the further process, the mechanisms is involved. Cationic exchangers, carboxylic, fractionation of cations, some biochemical separations, organic bases, some antibiotics with the pH of 5 to 10, 5 to 15, sorry, 5 to 14. Then quaternary ammonium polystyrene. So these are the examples of the resin substances work under the pH range, say quaternary ammonium polystyrene 0 to 12, and useful for the fractionation of anions, alkaloids, vitamins, fatty acids. So based on the sample, based on the nature of the solute, analyte, selection of the resins takes place. So different resins used for the exchange of ions.